What's up, everybody? It's Mr. Leviticus Rex here of the Teacher's Lounge, and as you can see, we have another episode coming up. Now, this individual that you are going to be seeing here in a couple seconds, how do I describe them? I would have to say probably one of the best human beings I have ever met before in my life, right? Like, bar none. Obviously, lived a short life so far, but by far one of the most well-mannered, loved, energetic, and optimistic people I have ever had the pleasure of being around. Somebody I can officially call a friend, and someone who I look forward to watching grow and experiencing things with them as a friend along the way, if and when is possible. So I'll stop rambling without that. With that being said, here you go. Episode. So for everybody that is here in the Teacher's Lounge, they might not know who you are, maybe have never met you, have heard from you before. Who are we looking at right now?
I am Betsy Lou. I am a local tattoo artist here in Mishawaka, Indiana. I'm originally from Guatemala. I came here when I was 14 years old. And I'm just a lot. As you can see, everything here.
For sure, yeah.
It's me.
Which everything behind you is super dope, though. So it's all this stuff. So what behind you on the wall? What is yours that you've created, and what is stuff that you just kind of picked up along the way?
So this one was actually my first acrylic painting that I decided to just kind of play around with.
Okay.
So the Cinderella is mine, and then the Bloody Girl is mine. Sorry for the boobies, but.
And they can't see it, so we're gonna move up just so they can see it.
Yeah. Bloody Girl, Nezuko from Demon Slayer. That's mine. And I think that's it. Aside from the toys, obviously. But yeah. Everybody else is just artists that I personally look up to.
Okay.
There's girls from California, Australia. We have some guy from Spain, just kind of all over the place.
Okay. So, and we'll get into that a little bit more as we go on, because there's a lot that goes into what you do and the art that you do. So we want to make sure everybody kind of understands and knows who it is you admire, who you look up to, who you kind of bring inspiration out of, and so on and so forth. But moving back a little bit, as you mentioned, where you originally are from, tell us a little bit about the culture there, what prompted you to move here to the States, and kind of what that all looked like.
Okay, so when it comes to the moving, it really was not up to me.
Right.
My parents just happened to lose their business when we were over there. I think it was supposed to be kind of like obviously a bit of a negative part of my parents' life, but for me it changed drastically. You know what I mean? Because it really it's who I am now.
Of course.
It really helped me become me coming here to the States. But Guatemala is still pretty behind. They're moving forward, but it's still very traditional.
Okay.
There's still 23 Mayan languages are actually still spoken today in Guatemala.
Jeez.
So,
do you know any of them?
I do not.
Okay.
I wish I know there were some places in Guatemala where they teach you Mayan.
Right.
But
if you could, would you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So, kind of like you mentioned, so mom and dad lost their business, which kind of prompted the move, which is a huge move. That's not huge. You're not like moving to a neighboring country. You're moving to a different place altogether.
Yeah.
What is that relationship like with mom and dad? Is it strong? Is it not strong?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I still talk to them almost daily. Sometimes not so much with my dad. But you know, we're all busy,
Right.
so it's understandable. But we all have a group chat where we chit chat
Cool.
like almost daily,
Cool.
send each other memes, funny stuff.
For
and
sure.
Yeah,
Now-
definitely still keep.
Now, where do they live? Do they live?
So my mom and my brother actually live in Guatemala.
Okay.
My whole family lives over there.
Gotcha.
And then my family, my dad does live here.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just him and I here in the States.
Right.
I do have some family, and actually my dad's sister lives in Florida.
Okay.
Which that's where we had moved to in the beginning.
Right.
And then my grandma was living here at the time, and you know, Miami, Florida, a lot more expensive than
Yeah, of course.
living here. So starting a new life, it was definitely a little bit easier and more
Right.
affordable to be able to come here.
Right.
So,
I mean, you technically started over twice.
sure.
So
Yeah.
Miami, like you said, kind of big spenders.
Yeah.
I mean, in Indiana, let's just stay in
Right.
Indiana. It's kind of, it's okay.
I mean, $5 for a gallon of milk
Yeah.
compared to a couple of bucks. you
Right. So, I mean, what kind of prompted mom to move back? Is she moving here? Like, is that?
That's definitely not possible
Okay.
anymore.
Gotcha.
She lost her visa coming here. Well, she
Okay.
decided to go back. We were all living here at the time, but my brother didn't like it, so he moved back.
Alright.
And then my mom, they still had some properties that they wanted to try to sell.
Okay.
So she went back to do that, and then when she tried to return, they denied her entry.
Okay.
I personally tried to apply for her citizenship, or
Right.
at least for her residency, for her to come here,
Mhm.
and it did not go well.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of where that stopped there.
Right.
for us.
Understood.
But I can go back. You know what I mean? I can still go ahead
Yeah.
and visit her, so it's okay.
Now, have you gone back?
Not since COVID.
Okay.
But I was there pre-COVID.
Gotcha. And so, as you mentioned, you were kind of born there, so you lived there for a time, went back prior to COVID, which was, I mean, it feels like,
Feels like forever.
yeah, it feels like 50 years ago, but not terribly long ago. What are some of the differences that you kind of noticed when you went back as an adult?
Tattoos.
Tattoos, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was definitely not as, I was not a stranger anymore.
Okay.
Because that was one of the things where when I moved here, I was pretty excited about, because I had always seen body modification as something beautiful.
Right.
And something that was very intriguing for me.
Mhm.
And in Guatemala, it's not.
Not so much.
Not so much. So I definitely noticed a big change from when I first started going back
Yeah.
compared to now.
Okay.
know? So
And you did mention, as you mentioned, mom is more traditional, which I'm sure she probably got from being there.
yeah.
I mean, so mom obviously knows you're a tattoo artist.
Oh, yeah.
So how does she love it?
She loves it.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So does mom have any tattoos?
Yes, I actually.
Have you? Did you do it? Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually got to tattoo my mom and my brother.
Okay.
My dad, he's not so crazy about the tattoos,
Right.
but
I feel like it's always the dads though.
yeah, I think he's definitely more traditional than my mom. My mom
Okay.
is like, "Sí, mija, déjale," like.
You're back in the States. Completely different experience, as you mentioned. Creativity is more free flowing though here,
Yes.
as you mentioned. Not as conservative, more like all over the place type thing. How was your upbringing in that regard, being here, like those years?
I don't think it was really a big difference for me.
Okay.
Because even though the culture is very different in Guatemala,
Right.
I don't know, when I was little, I was still, I have an older brother, so I still remember my brother like watching anime or
Right.
like, liking like heavy metal bands and
Mhm.
things like that. So like for me that was normal.
Yeah.
So coming here, it really wasn't much of
Not
a shocker.
a easy
Yeah,
transition type
no.
thing. Okay.
And I did go to a private school in Guatemala, so
Okay.
I started learning English when I was in 3rd grade.
Gotcha.
So I didn't really know, or not that I didn't know, but I didn't have a lot of practice speaking English.
Okay.
But I knew it.
You knew the
I
language,
knew
yeah.
a lot. No, I wouldn't say everything. But yeah, I knew a lot.
You knew enough.
So I knew enough
Yeah.
to get by and to understand what people were telling me.
Okay.
I was just shy to like really talk.
Right. Which is like the opposite now, right?
Oh yeah. Now I want to shut up.
High school, you guys are almost adults. How is that? Like, how were those years impactful for you, kind of growing and maturing as you like into who you are now? Like, was there key moments that were like, you know what, I'll remember this later. Like, this is something that I can look back on and it helped me a lot. Or those high school years were trash. Like, I'm so glad I'm an adult now.
Yeah, it was definitely a little hard because I was, and you know, still kind of like an alternative kid, you know, growing up. So I think especially from when the high school that I went to,
Right.
you know, Elkhart Central, different type of people too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it was heavy with Hispanics and stuff, and I think because it was still very cultural unaccepted for, you know, us Hispanics to be alternative.
Right.
I was still kind of being like looked down on. So I just kind of minded my own business.
Yeah.
I've always been a little bit of a loner, which is
Right.
It's kind of weird.
That's like the end thing now, though. Like, some people, like, I feel like older people, like, not in our age group, but like parents, like, we are the people they like talk about now. Like,
Yeah.
the ones that are like loners and like kind of do their own thing, like,
Yeah.
like buck the system, like don't
Yeah.
go against the status quo. Like, that's like the thing now.
Yeah.
So like, in reality, you were ahead of the curve.
Yeah, for sure. And I also I took Career Center.
Okay.
I did graphic design in Career Center, and I think
Nice.
that's also what was like. Okay, yeah, I want to keep leading my career
Yeah.
towards something artistic, you know,
Okay.
because I personally didn't go to college, so
Right.
Career Center was almost that for
That
me.
was college. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Which is, I mean, it turned out very well.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So in high school, obviously moving to the States, like we mentioned, there are differences culturally. I'm assuming there are probably differences like relationship wise as well. You
Yeah,
know, obviously with
for
with
sure.
opposite sex or whatever the case is. Explain kind of what that first relationship like was for you here in the States. Like, was it great? Was it bad? Like, how was it? Like, what
It
was
was
that?
crazy. It was a crazy roller coaster.
Okay.
I actually got married pretty young.
Okay. Still in high school?
Straight
Straight
out of high school.
Okay,
Yeah. So
perfect.
I met him after high school, actually at a graduation party.
Okay, nice.
And my parents wanted to send me back to Guatemala, and you know I had fallen in love.
Right.
So I was like, I don't want to do that. So
I'm
I
like,
decided to
I'm
get
bucking the
married
system
instead.
again.
So yeah, you know that was a 10-year marriage.
Okay.
It was a little marriage. We had obviously our up and down, and
Right.
then we became different people, and it didn't work out for me.
Right.
So we ended up getting a divorce about almost going 4 years now.
Okay.
Roughly 3-4 years ago, something like that.
Right.
He was pretty much like the only boyfriend I had here,
Really?
really. So I didn't really experience.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah, yeah.
That was it. And he has a lot of health issues, and that just kind of also, along with just growing. You know, I went from being a teenager to
I mean, you were
going
in
well
the-
into my 30s.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was a long relationship. Like I said, we grew apart, and we just
For sure.
had to split.
Which is important that you kind of mentioned that you grew apart. Especially, I feel like today, you hear the stigma like millennials, they'll never get married because they are more independent, they want to do their own thing.
Yeah.
When I feel like in reality, it's not so much that they want to do their own thing, but like you mentioned, we just grow.
Yeah.
I feel like our generation behind us, we grow so much more,
For
so
sure.
much quicker.
Yes.
So when back in the olden days, you know, people got married, they just stuck it out like they would be miserable.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you stick with it,
Yeah.
and you got no other option.
If you divorce, like you are shunned, like it's almost a scarlet letter type
Yeah.
thing. You are shunned.
Yeah.
Whereas now you're like, no, that's not me anymore. Like
Yeah.
we have, like you said, we have different things. Like I have to find like
Yeah.
what is me type of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's super important that you said that because there are a lot of people that can't resonate with that
Yeah.
yet.
And also, you know, I feel like that was also something that we struggle with because I kind of, in a way, have always known who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a very goal-oriented person.
Right.
So, like, I had a lot of things that I wanted to do and achieve, and him not so much.
Right.
So it's like we were definitely going completely different
Mm-hmm.
directions, and
Right.
it was time.
You mentioned there were like health issues and like
Yes.
some mental issues.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of you were the spouse, so
Yes.
explain like what that looked like, and not just, you don't have to necessarily generalize it for your relationship, but just in general as the wife. Like, I mean, I would imagine that that's a scary thing because you're not able to be in that mind, so
Yeah.
you are seeing it firsthand, but you're not that person.
Yeah, and I think the hardest part about the health issues that he has, you know, I don't know how he's doing now, so
Right.
I couldn't tell you, but it's an invisible illness, so it's something that it doesn't really show outside,
Right.
but inside it's tragic.
Of
You know,
course.
they're really suffering.
Mhm.
I still today, I don't know really if he has had, like, exactly know what he has. I
Right.
don't know. But he had a lot of, when I was with him, hormone issues. So his hormone levels were up and down, which, you know, that causes a lot of
Yeah.
highs and lows and
Mhm.
things like that. And he was also diagnosed with social anxiety when he was, I think, in like first grade or something like that.
Oh wow.
And I think maybe he was misdiagnosed. Like, I don't think that's really maybe
Like what it was.
Yeah, I think he maybe had hormone issues all along.
Okay.
And then now that I actually have a friend who owns this studio, she has a lot of the same health issues that he also has, and I'm learning
Okay.
more about, because she has already been diagnosed with a lot of things. So I have learned a lot about the things that she goes through and the things that he went through.
Yeah.
And the similarities are like insane. So it's definitely hard because you see it like it takes the right person to really fully see what they go through.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were nights where like he would just lay there with like his heart like feeling like it was gonna come out of his chest, you know what I mean,
Right.
type thing. So a lot of things happen, like hives, just super heartbeat palpitations and things
Mhm.
like that, and it's hard to see for sure because you
Right.
can't see it yourself, but I, as a wife, I believed what he
Yeah.
was going through.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you kind of felt it, like you
Yes,
feel it for
absolutely.
him, type of thing.
And then we went from like, you know, doctor to doctor, and like everybody was just like, just brush it off. There's nothing wrong with you. Like, you, yeah,
Yeah, that's
eat better, or you know, exercise.
Anything but
anything but exactly what it is. So it was definitely very hard to go through, and it just, you know, took us to the ground too.
as you said, you have a friend that kind of experiences it now.
Yeah.
How have you seen that within society today? Do you think they're doing a good job of it? Are they still hiding it?
I definitely think that they're still hiding the illness.
Okay.
So one of the ones that I think, or my friend actually has, it's EDS, which is, I mean, I can't tell you what it is because I really don't know.
Yeah.
But it triggers a lot of your body. It triggers
Okay.
like your hormones, your like just every component from your body. Like she's
Right.
allergic to everything, but nothing at the same time.
Wow.
So anything can like just out of nowhere trigger her allergies,
Yeah.
and then she starts breaking out in hives, you know.
Wow.
Like she can't even eat like foods that have been in the refrigerator for more than a day because that has a high histamine
Okay.
in the food.
Yeah.
So then she'll become allergic to it.
That's insane.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I have
my.
definitely learned a lot. And, you know, she also has a lot of clients that have the same health issues
Okay.
that have not been diagnosed yet either.
If there was something that you think that could be done, if you were in a position to kind of do that and move the conversation forward, like what would you have them do or what would you have done?
That's a hard question.
Which is okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to be like, I don't know. I just,
Yeah,
like
I
you said, it's a
know.
hard question. There's a,
I guess all you can do is really support the person that is telling you something's not right.
Mhm.
I don't feel right.
right. I mean, that's a big step. You know,
Yeah.
that in
It's-
itself is a lot.
You know, that comes with trusting your partner, your friend. You
Mhm.
know, there's so much that goes into that.
Right.
Being compassionate about people. You know, I think that's something that not a lot of people are anymore.
Yeah.
And you know, be an empath, be compassionate, and believe others.
It's important. Like you
It's
said, that's
very
super
important,
important.
yeah.
Now you are in a relationship now
Yes.
with Angel. His name's
Yes.
Angel, right?
Yes.
How did you guys meet? Like, what are plans, if there are any, kind of moving forward? Like, where are you guys at as far as togetherness in your play? Like, you're in a good space. Like, what does it look like?
Absolutely. So it feels like a fairy tale, for
Okay.
sure. At least for me.
Okay. At least for you. So
At
we
least for
we have
me.
to ask him. Okay.
Because you know I'm all about the Disney
Right,
lifestyle.
right.
So, I met him tattooing him.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's fairy tale-ish. Yeah.
He heard about me. He
Okay.
wanted something very specific that he had seen my work and knew that I could do. So,
Okay.
yeah, I started tattooing him, and we just became best friends. Like literally, it was just a person that I super clicked with.
Yeah.
Just laugh all the time. We're just really good friends.
Okay.
And then after things happened to me, you know, went through my divorce and all that, it was kind of stuck around too. I think he was
Yeah.
being very patient since he's you know, there was a chance maybe.
Yeah.
So he was patient.
Laying the seeds early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Took me out to Disney.
Nice. That was
Yeah.
that was the first one, was it? Was that the first date?
Yeah, he was literally like, "Let me take you to Disney."
What?
That was a birthday present.
That was the first date?
Pretty much. I mean, we had hung out and stuff.
I mean, oh yeah.
But not as like, I kind of like you.
Yeah.
Let me take you out.
See, but now that makes everybody else look bad. So now, like, if anybody had to take them on the first date, you gotta take them to like the White House or something
Right.
crazy.
Disney,
Okay.
Disney for me.
Which is perfect. Like you said, it fits perfectly
Yeah.
with kind of how you are. How long have you been together now?
We don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah, we don't have.
I like it.
So I was like
It's an
nervous
interesting answer.
about like anniversaries because that like has
Yeah.
a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? So,
Gotcha.
We just kind of stuck together.
Just together.
Yeah.
Right. I like it. I like that.
Because we also, you know, in my past experience, like, it seemed like anniversaries were never special,
Okay.
you know, to my other partner
Yeah.
anyway. I
Gotcha.
don't know if they really were or not, but
But you didn't get to see if it was, so you don't
yeah,
know. Yeah.
So it just kind of, it triggers me now.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, no anniversary, I don't want any of that.
Okay.
So we really don't. We celebrate every day.
Every day's the
being
day.
together
Yeah.
rather than just one day.
Hmm. Which makes it stronger, like you said. Like you
It's
guys
like
are best
on
friends.
birthday,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? Not your birthday, you celebrate your own birthday. So that is us.
Okay,
Yeah, we
cool.
celebrate every day that we get to be together.
Awesome, awesome. And now, when I came in a couple weeks ago, Angel was here.
Was he?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So, do you guys work together?
We do not.
Okay.
No.
Would you work with him?
No, hell no.
Why not?
Because I've done that before. Yeah. Just
And how did that what
let him have his own thing.
would not work? Like no shot.
I think it will work, but I don't think he would be interested.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would that like tarnish the fairy tale? Like
Maybe.
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah. I think doing what I do, I think he'll be too tired to like put up with me.
Okay, fair enough. You already know by looking behind you and kind of hearing you talk so far, what is it that you do?
I tattoo. Tattoo people.
So, you mentioned graphic design at Career Center. Was that like the first domino that kind of started the whole thing, or was it even before that?
I don't know, honestly. I would say before that.
Okay.
Because my parents used to bring us here to the States when we were young, just to, vacation
Yeah.
and stuff. And I still remember till this day, the very first time I saw a body modification. I was like 8 years old.
Okay.
And there was this guy, we had gone to LA, and it was a Disney trip.
All right. Okay.
I love me some
She's
Disney.
been to Disney more
Yes.
than like people in general, like
I
families.
wish. There's been people that have been to Disney more than me. But, so yeah, it was a Disney trip, but we were in a bus. And I remember
Okay.
this guy had his bridge pierced. So
Okay.
the bridge is right here.
Yeah. Right.
And I was like,
Like amazement.
that is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I thought it was amazing, and from there on, I was just like, I want to be heavily tattooed. I want to be heavily pierced.
So you knew at 8 years old.
Oh yeah, I knew I wanted that. Whatever
Yeah.
that was, I
Okay,
had to
I wanted
have.
it.
Yeah, I want that.
8 years old. I'm Betsy. I'm like, I know what I want to do. I want to do this for the rest of my life. So how did that process go about? Like what did you do to get here?
I don't know.
Because you didn't buy a coloring book and like, all right, I can do this. Like,
It's
grab me
funny
somebody's
thing.
back.
My aunt, during quarantine, I did a lot of paintings to
Mm-hmm.
try to get by and stuff like that. And an aunt of mine sent me a picture of a painting that I did when I was that young. I was probably like maybe 10 years old.
Okay.
And apparently I was just selling paintings so that I could make some extra money.
Oh, part-time
So,
hustler.
yeah.
Okay.
And I've always been like that. I always
Right.
like tinker here, craft this, craft that. What can I,
Yeah.
make myself to get by?
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean,
Of course.
and I think that just kind of stuck with me. And,
Okay.
But I think the main thing for me is like when it comes to tattooing, like what got me started
Yeah.
it was more of a selfish reason.
Okay.
Because I wanted to do it so that I could personally be heavily tattooed and
Right.
heavily modified and have a job where I could be me.
Mhm.
And I think that was my,
Okay.
all right, I gotta do whatever I gotta do to get
Okay.
there.
So like every artist, writer, whatever profession or career you're in, they have like a specific niche that they're really good at or that they like gravitate towards. So we can kind of see behind you, and you've mentioned Disneyland like 57 times already.
Yes.
What do you specialize in? Like what is your expertise, your area of expertise that you can do?
I will say what I specialize in is color work. But I gravitate towards anime and
Right.
pop culture, Disney stuff.
Okay.
So mainly because it makes me happy.
Yeah.
It brings me joy.
Right.
It's the things that I like. I get super hyped and super
Mm-hmm.
excited about doing one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
It's just, I think when you're excited to do something or like that excited,
Right.
things turn out better too. You know what I
Of
mean?
course. Yeah.
So,
Of course. That good energy in the air.
yeah.
Yeah. What is the number? How many tattoos do you think you've done so far? No idea.
No
Like
idea.
over 1,000?
Oh,
Way over
way
1,000.
over.
Like 15K?
Maybe.
Maybe. Jeez.
I mean, they were like,
Like from day one,
Yeah.
Betsy to today, Betsy. Like Friday,
I mean,
Betsy
there were
just finished
times
the
where
tattoo
like
today.
in just a weekend I will do, this was way before
At the
my-
start.
At the start.
Mhm.
I had had to hustle, you know.
Right.
So I was doing maybe like 8 to 10 a day.
Now, and we talked about it off camera. That was one a day.
I do one a day.
That was one a day.
Yes.
So the hustling kind of worked out. Now you do one a day.
Yeah. And honestly, even if I tried to do more than that, I just wouldn't.
No shot.
No.
Yeah. As you kind of mentioned it, like when you do something that you're super excited about and that you love, it always turns out better.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not a tattoo artist, but I would assume, if you love it, like you were more willing to take your time and make it the best possible.
Yeah. And I do, when I first started tattooing, I would do things that were like a quarter size.
Right.
So, of course, I had like.
You could do 8 or
time
10,
to
yeah.
Yeah. Now I do like
Yeah.
pieces this big, like I do quarter sleeves. So
Right.
I really don't have time to do more.
Yeah.
But if I get to leave early, then.
Then I'm out.
Then I'm
You
out.
get your little
I
5
get-
o'clock nap in.
Yeah, I love naps, man.
Betsy loves naps. It's incredible.
My daily
She could-
to-do list is a nap. My nap is there.
Now, how long do these naps usually last?
Anywhere in between 10 minutes and half hour.
Oh, those are power naps. Those aren't naps.
That's all I need.
Those aren't power naps. Those are just eye flushes.
Unless I have a headache, then that's like a 2-hour.
2-hour nap.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay. Now, back to the art piece. And I kind of want to bring it up because I feel like maybe people might not have even caught it. You make it a point to say body modifications.
yes,
Is there a reason?
because you're transforming your body.
Right.
I think that's the beauty of body modification is that having the ability to really be able to transform your body however you want to.
Yeah.
I love that about it. I love having power of my own future, my own self, so.
Yeah. Dope. Okay, so Betsy has she's had over 15,000 tattoos. She takes power naps,
Power naps.
loves Disney, is living a fairy tale. I mean, what else? What are we missing here? What are we missing in Betsy right now?
Rabbits.
Rabbits. Now you have a pet rabbit, right?
I do, yeah.
What? Okay. What is the name of this rabbit?
Lilu.
Lilu.
Yeah.
How old is Lilu?
She's 8 years old.
It's not dog years, right? It's like just
Oh, yeah.
straight calendar years.
No. I think she's like 60-some years old. Yeah.
Jeez. So I follow you obviously, so I've seen pictures and videos. I mean, Lilo is practically a child.
Yes.
Practically a child.
Yes. She's a princess.
Princess, not even a
Yeah.
child. Like we were gonna just skip past the child portion. She's not a child. She's a
No,
princess.
yeah.
Because there are two different things.
Yes.
Okay.
She acts like it.
So, with Lilo, this princess, is this, and I mean, this could get me in trouble, this could get Angel in trouble, I don't know. Is this practice? Is Lilo practice?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
Possibility.
Possibility. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll take it. We'll take it. So, so for you, like you said, you focus on the anime portion of it. What is probably the hardest tattoo that you've done so far?
I already can think about it because
That was
it
quick.
was,
That was super quick.
yeah, it was a nightmare. And okay, so the Avengers, right?
I do.
Okay, so
I think we better know what
right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
okay. Doctor Strange,
Oh.
like his little
Yeah.
glowing.
That sounds like a nightmare as you're explaining it.
It was a nightmare.
Oh.
I went cross-eyed, I think. And then he just emailed me like,
Really?
So he has an appointment coming up. I think in 2 weeks or something.
Okay.
Maybe next week. No, it's not next week. It's in 2 weeks.
As you guys can see, Betsy's calendar is never.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
It's a mess. Yeah. I have to book time to get together with people. Like, yeah. But he emailed me and he's like, how much would you hate me if I want you to do something similar, but green?
Oh. Well, it's the color, though. You do the color.
That's what I said to him. I literally said that. He's one of my good clients. So,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm like,
So how long did that piece take? Can you remember? Like, was it?
I think it took me like 4 hours.
Okay.
And it's only like this big.
But the detail, like you mentioned,
Yes.
It's crazy.
It's still hands down one of my favorite tattoos.
Okay, so it turned out pretty good then.
Yeah.
Turned out pretty
I'm
good. Okay.
mega proud of it.
Okay, perfect. Now, are you excited for this next one?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So take us through your.
I'm super excited. I really am.
So take us through your process of, because obviously I know people who have been tattooed by you, they know, like, you book in advance, like
Yeah.
months in advance. Take us through your process of, like, the creation of that tattoo, like, because I know we've talked. You take the idea and the concept that they give you, but sometimes, let's be honest, maybe that concept is trash or not as good as it should be.
Okay. I'm gonna say I have some pretty amazing clients.
Okay.
Because for the most part, they're like, this character,
Yeah.
do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want. Okay, which makes it easy for you, right?
Yes.
Because you can do whatever.
Sometimes it's kind of hard because
Okay.
if it's like a character that has like many versions, I'm like, okay,
Ah.
but which outfit do you want?
Right.
Tell me more.
Yeah.
So sometimes I do have to pry some information out of people.
Okay.
But usually they make it easy
Yeah.
for me.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. So again, we mentioned we had a lot of conversation before we even started. You kind of mentioned like the time it takes behind the scenes
Yes.
to get your stencils in order and to get like what it will look like. How long do you spend on that?
On the tattoo or the prepping?
On the prepping.
The prepping.
The prepping.
Forever. I take like 3 bathrooms breaks before. Because I drink a whole gallon of water a day.
Right.
I got a potty. But I'm I feel like a little bit of a slacker.
Okay.
I just like to be chill.
Take your time.
Yeah, I like to be like just not in a rush. Like we said before, I only take one a day. So
Right.
like I really like that one-on-one time that I get with my clients.
Yeah.
I think it's very important because I want to get to know you. I want to be your friend too. You know what I mean?
course.
I want you to get to know me, and I'm about to tattoo you. I want you to be
Yeah.
comfortable.
It's like a lifelong bond we about to form here.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had clients that I've been tattooing since I started tattooing. So,
Right.
I've been tattooing for 10 years now. So that's we're
Yeah.
getting to know each other.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So, usually like get them in, they fill out paperwork, they come back here, we chat a lot.
Mhm. Right. Which is important. That's
Yeah,
important.
I set up everything, put the stencil on, let that dry.
She lets it dry.
I let it dry so that I can have my breakfast. Cause I'm always running late. And okay, I will say running late for me is being an hour early.
There you go.
So,
There you go.
but I like to like eat before.
You want to have time.
Yeah.
You want to have that time.
Yeah.
We get that. We get
Sometimes I don't get that time, so I have to eat right
Squeeze it in.
before
Gotta
while
squeeze
your
it in.
stencil is drying
that. Yeah.
before we
I love,
get
all the
things
hand
started.
signals are nice.
You
we
don't like
know what
this?
that means. We know exactly what all that means.
This
100%.
is me.
So, you mentioned it, which I think is fascinating, that some of your clients are also tattoo artists.
Yes.
So,
Which is nerve-wracking.
which
too.
is nerve-wracking,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean, in theory, like, you are tattooing your peers, so your work is on them.
Yeah.
Right? So, how excited do you get when you get to tattoo like a peer? Is it harder? Do you get more nervous doing them, or does? 100%, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I know like they'll go back to the shop and like
Yeah.
really looking at what I did, you know. So I mean, not that I take that time
Right.
with, you know, my other clients, but
us normal people aren't
it's
gonna see.
pressure.
Yeah, us
Yeah.
normal people won't see like the little dent that you put in his head or
right, they're gonna be like, "Oh, girl, the line ain't straight." I don't want any of that. So
I don't want any more. We're good.
pressure is on.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. So, kind of moving along with that portion of it. At the beginning, you mentioned a lot of the stuff behind you. You made it a point to say a lot of them were from female creators.
Yes.
Right. So this space of body modification, tattooing, piercing, like it's not. To the end of today, it could be different, but I feel like growing up, it wasn't necessarily like a female space,
no.
right?
Oh no.
What is it like now? Like, what is it?
It's still hard.
Okay.
It's still a little hard for us. I would say sadly, there's a lot of things that are coming, you know, to the light,
Right.
you know, about the industry.
Mhm.
Just I feel like now, especially in the society, you know, that we have right now, I think more females in general are being able to like step up and talk about things and circumstances that they were put in.
Right.
And sadly, the tattoo industry has been that way.
Tattooing is a crazy space for females. And I mean, to be honest, body modification, that's a weird space in general.
Yeah.
Like, to the extreme, I mean, you kind of have somebody's life in your hands. Like, there are things that could go wrong.
Oh, for
you
sure.
know?
Yeah.
So for people who are watching this, that maybe they're like, hey, this is something I want to look into more. Like, this is something I could see myself doing. What advice do you have for them? Because you're a veteran at this point, right? Like, you have a ton of years, a ton of tattoos that you've created. Like, what advice would you give?
That's a hard question for me.
Okay.
Because I personally always say all the bad things about tattooing.
Yeah.
You know, like
Give us those.
the reality. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We get no insurance.
Right.
Like we pay our own taxes, so at the end of the year, we pay a lot of taxes if we make a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Coming up in the industry, you have no time for anything.
Right.
All the family gatherings, like especially if you have like a lot of family around you,
Yeah.
you don't got time for that. You gotta
grind.
you gotta be working for people, you know. You're
Right.
24/7, and until you build a name for yourself, like you have to be replying to people, you know. And now, especially with social media being such a big thing for word of mouth type thing,
Yeah.
you have to be on top of it, you know what I mean? So I spent like 10 years doing that, you know, not having time for anything. We work on the weekends, we work late at nights, early mornings, whatever we have to do.
Right.
And it takes a lot of time and energy and everything in between from us, you know what I mean? So it's definitely something that somebody has to think about it, you know, because it doesn't just affect you as a person because you missed out on so much, but also your partner, you know what I mean, the
100%.
person that you might be with, or your kids, you
Right.
know, up until you are in a comfortable situation where you can, now like me, where like I'm done, I get to go home and I get to spend my time, you know, with my partner.
Right.
But most people are still tattooing at like 10, 11 o'clock at night, midnight
Finishing
maybe.
up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just,
Getting after it.
I need my nap, man.
You gotta get your.
So definitely,
your
you
half
know, for
hour.
anybody that wants to do this, like, really think about it.
Okay.
Think about how much, if you're willing to miss out on life for it.
So what is your TikTok name?
Okay, Art by Betsy Lou.
Art by Betsy Lou.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then Instagram, Betsy Lou Tattoos.
Okay. So didn't want to make it just uniform across the board, huh? Jeez.
Just Just gotta make it complicated.
See how they do. See how they act.
It's gotta be all over the place.
It's gotta be all over the place. Okay, so this is the most important question by far.
Okay.
Okay. What is the best anime ever created? Take your time.
Oh my god.
Don't rush this. You could lose
This
a
is
lot.
important.
You could lose a lot. Talking about no bonuses, no paid vacation. You
Putting me on the spot, man. Okay, but that's a hard question because you technically could have it in like
Yeah, like
different
some
tiers. Yeah.
Okay. We'll
Oh my god,
adjust.
that's still hard though because shonen is like.
We forgot we're
That's like asking me like.
talking
what's
to
your
a princess,
favorite?
so she
Yeah.
has to have like certain stipulations. Okay, top 3.
Okay. Currently, I'm going to say Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, are we going 1 to 3 or 3 to 1?
1 to 3.
Okay, so 1 is
So Jujutsu Kaisen is my number 1 right
Okay.
now. And then My Hero Academia.
Okay.
And
Ooh.
oh my god,
Ooh.
sweating.
Sweating so bad.
I'm going to still have, and people are gonna be pissed about this, but I'm going to say Dragon Ball.
Okay,
Dragon Ball is still.
like the original Dragon Ball? Or which one
I'm
are we
gonna
talking?
say all the
Just
series.
in general, all of it.
Just in general.
Okay.
Because everybody wants to hate on it, but it's still going.
It's still going.
It's still doing so good, and it has inspired so many other animes.
That's
so
your grandfather right there.
yeah,
Okay.
and
Great.
that's what I grew up with.
See? There you go. Now follow up to that. Subbed or dubbed?
Okay.
Subbed or dubbed? I feel like this is a tricky
Okay.
question.
It is a very tricky question because I grew up with it, so technically I watched it in Spanish.
Ah,
You didn't
okay.
see that one
I
coming.
like it. I like it. Okay.
So Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT
Yeah.
would be Spanish.
Okay.
Resurrection, so like the movies, Resurrection F.
Yeah.
And I haven't actually seen all of them.
The 57 that they have?
Yeah, that's okay.
There's a lot.
So those would be English dub,
Okay.
and then Dragon Ball Super would be sub.
Okay.
Because I had to watch it when it was coming out.
Yeah.
So I had no other option.
Gotcha. Okay. And that's interesting because, like you said, for
And I
me-
can't mix them either.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to stay that
You gotta
way.
stay that way. So growing up, like you said, Dragon Ball, like all of that, I watched that English. I mean, that's what it was on, you know?
Yeah.
For me, I cannot get into it if it's not.
In English?
Because for Dragon
Just for-
Ball.
okay.
Because the voice actors are really good.
Okay.
I enjoy the voice actors for that. Now, Naruto, you won't catch me. You won't catch me.
Really?
I gotta dub it.
Yeah.
But you haven't seen it.
I have
You seen all of it?
not all of it. I'm
Not all
still
of
pretty behind.
What are you doing?
Too many to catch up on, but I gotta.
You
I
can
gotta
skip
do it.
you can skip the initial series though. Like the first 200 episodes when he's a child. Like watch like the first 2 seasons and then skip
I'm
the rest.
just now getting done with that, so you told me too late.
Oh jeez. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness gracious. So okay, I get it. Okay, so subbed across the board.
Yep. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. Whatever's available at the time, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I get it.
The
And I
point
said
is-
dubbed.
the
I
point
did not
is to
mean
watch
dubbed.
it, right?
Yeah. The point is to watch it. And I said dubbed. I did not mean dubbed. Can't watch Naruto dubbed. They won't.
No?
They won't let you anyway. It's only subbed.
No, it isn't.
The new stuff.
Oh, the new stuff? I didn't know
Shippuden.
that.
Yeah. That's how they get you. See, that's how they get you.
Mofos.
Mofos.